This imposing mahogany campaign chest with a superstructure is by one of the great Irish makers, Gregory Kane. And standing at just under 7 foot in height, it really is quite something. And the whole dismantles. The top section cupboard is not a separate piece that lifts off like many 3-part campaign chests. It's all bolted to and hinged to collapse. But we'll have a look at that later when it comes to dismantling it. But I think first of all, we'll come in a little bit closer and we'll have a look at a bit of a detail on it. So the top section has got a number of drawers. We've got 4 short drawers to the top and then 2 deeper drawers below. And we can see on all of them, these flush handles are slightly raised from the wood. They just sit proud ever so slightly, and that's fairly typical of Gregory Kane. We take the drawer out, we can see that it's lined in ash, very nicely done, with quadrants to the inside. So why are these drawers deeper? Well, this one, of course, is a secretaire. So let's open that out, click that down, and here we've got our secretaire drawer with the original red leather skiver and the maker's name, G. Kane, maker, 68-69 Dame Street, Dublin, with some gilt tooling around the edge. But what we also can get from this secretaire drawer is that it's got a much stronger lock, which is fairly typical on secretaire campaign chests. The secretaire drawer normally had a stronger lock, and this one is made by Chubb, and the serial number on it tells us that the lock was made, and so presumably the chest in around about 1852, 1853. So it's great to be quite accurate on the date there. We've got some interior drawers here, which are quite nicely done, and a long one to the bottom. Now if we take that out and we take out one of the top ones, we can see that there's quite a difference in depth to them. That tells us something is going on. Why would this bottom longer drawer not be as deep as the top? Well, because there is a secret drawer. And here we go, we can have a look at that, and you can see that the ash is very clean. I mean, it looks like it's hardly been exposed to the light. And I would imagine that a number of owners of this chest probably didn't even realise that was there. So that's the secretaire drawer. The chest splits here, as you would expect, and then below we've got 2 long drawers, and the chest stands on turned feet which unscrew for travel. So let's move back out again and show you a little bit more of the chest. So I'm just going to swing the chest round so that we can have a look at the back and see if that can tell us anything. So we can see on the back, on each side we've got 4 fixing bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that obviously fixes the back to the sides. What we can also see is that we've got a number of hinges. So there's one here, here and here. telling us that these two sections are made to hinge here, here and here. So the bottom section also meant to hinge to flat pack. So we'll get round to that in a minute, and we'll pack all of the top down and show you in super speed how that all works. But while we're looking at the back, let's just have another closer look. And what's interesting to note is we've got 4 cutouts, 2 on each side, here and here, here and here. And those are for the dividers between the short drawers. So when they were cutting them out, obviously they cut all the way through the board rather than stopping an inch in or so, but didn't do the same on the bottom. On the bottom, they didn't go all the way through. Just a funny little quirk, but interesting to note it. So let's move this back round again and then show you how it all dismantles. So, if we open up the doors, we can have a look to see what's going on the inside as well. Well, we've got 2 shelves which are removable. We can see some more hinges here, here and here, but also nice big hinges to the sides as well. So let's take it all apart and show you it packed down. First thing we're going to do is remove the cornice. So the first bit we took off was the cornice, which is hinged. And this simply sits on top of the cupboard board on pins. So pops on and off very easily, and then is hinged to fold for travel. This is the top board, and we can see the holes to receive the pins there. On the other side, we have got brass plates, and you can see that they've got shaped cutouts to sit on top of dome-headed screws, and so you put them on top of the screw and then slide it and it locks into place. Push it back the other way to remove it. After that, we took off the doors, and the doors have got hinges that allows you to separate the 2 parts of a hinge by simply lifting. The bottom half has got a pin which extends up into this barrel here, so you can just sit it on and it'll hold it nicely in place. So those come off nice and easily as well. And I don't know if you can see it, but that's the interior of the panel door. And that really is a wonderful piece of flame mahogany that Kane chose to use. You just turn it in the light a little bit and hopefully you can get an idea of that. So lovely timber as well. So the next step will be pulling out the shelves, then removing the bolts to collapse the back and sides. So let's get on with that. So the final bolt comes out, the side drops down, and the back is hinged to fold down very neatly. So as you can see, it's very comprehensive in the way it collapses. You've also got the chest splitting in half and the feet removing, as I said originally. Probably this would have had a packing case that it would have all sat in just to protect it during travel. So a great bit of design by one of the great Irish campaign furniture makers, Gregory Kane of Dane Street. So to sum it up, it's a mahogany campaign chest with superstructure. We can date it to around about 1852 to 1853, and this ties in with the only other one of these that we've seen, which we sold many years ago, which had a chub block as well, which dated it to 1850. That version was slightly different in that it had some Rococo carving to the top of the panels of the doors, and the cornice didn't have any returns to the sides, but it did have a Rococo decoratively carved front section. So quite a rare chest, really. We don't see many of this form by Gregory Kane, and Gregory Kane, I mean, one of my favourite makers. So mid-19th century, mahogany, Irish, campaign, portable chest.